So did you guys give Robert a drop?
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay, so-
Anything that's in our hands that we need to come down with is ours. And I know how, miraculous his season was last year, and having the ability to catch everything and every target thrown at him for a tight end, that's pretty rare. And, those are going to happen throughout a season. So it was something that, we brushed off and moved on to the next play, and it's not something you're just going to, sit there and pout about.
What did your insides feel like when you saw Josiah go down?
I felt for him big time. It's like watching your son out there and watching all that perspire. But you go out there, and I'm just glad that it was something that we can deal with through time. And but I felt for him for sure. Yeah.
I know part of it was just circumstance and everything, but how do you get Bobby going? He's such a key part of what you guys did last year.
I think in anything with offense is a rhythm, and it opens up windows for everyone. So, finding that rhythm and getting a couple first downs and starting a series, and you find ways to get the ball in certain people's hands. And, sometimes, plays are designed for certain people to get the ball. And in our system, it's a progression, and he might be number 3 in the progression. He still gets the ball. So those things will happen, through the success and as we go as an offense moving forward here. So it'll open up for him.
Does his role, I don't want to say expand, and let's not make a big deal out of one game in terms of judging what your offense is, but if opponents are going to play 2 high safeties a lot, how does that affect Bobby and how much he can do underneath that?
It definitely opens up underneath. It opens up the running game for sure too, moving forward. And he's a guy that can match up against a backer that's going to play you man or too high, and he's going to be able to be put in those windows to help the offense move the ball a little bit more. So there's things out there that we have for him, and yeah, he can do things underneath and he can do things down the field. So, but moving forward here, you'll see it open up a little bit more.
Justin, we just saw, how unique Josiah is. How much of a luxury has it been to have Dom, in that spot too? If depending on what happens with him, to still have another guy that can kind of pick up that menu of what's expected from that spot.
Yeah, we're extremely blessed to have both those guys in that room, because it allows you to keep running your offense. That specific position can get beat up with what you're asking them to do in the run game, and then protection and going out wide. And so they're getting more information. They're getting more on their plate mentally too. So having a guy that can step in, and immediately the next series another guy can go in and run the same position is extremely beneficial for us offensively. So when Dom went in, when Josiah went down, it was nice to have something to lean on, with the game planning and still being able to run your stuff once you get rolling. So.
Justin, obviously, Josiah's health is first and foremost, and then after that, he was a guy that you were so excited about last year, and he was snake-bitten with the injuries then. Where was he at kind of getting back before this concussion, kind of getting back to who he was looking like he was going to be for you last year? Did you feel like he was on the right path and in a good spot?
After the injury, knowing his mindset and the guy he is, he was going to attack the rehab part of it. You just don't know how that knee's going to react. And he did everything imaginable to get himself back to where he was when he left last season early on. So you could see like him getting used to his Forrest Gump new leg, just trying it out. And there was some early on team sessions where he's still trying to get his balance, but each and every day he just got stronger and stronger and stronger. So I feel good about where he is and what he still brings to this offense. The unfortunate chain of events with injuries that happens, but he's not going to blink twice when this happens, because he's just a resilient kid, and he'll come back stronger.
I'm sorry if I don't know the rules. Are you able to check in with? I know Jace isn't allowed to be here, right? But are you able to check in with him, or are you not even allowed to do that?
I told him that everything via iPad is on there for him, and then he can keep up that way. But as far as just in-house, once he gets back in, then we'll start rolling with him. Yeah.
Justin, I know, Marcedes has been a leader, for the last 3-4 years now, but seeing him get the captain's patch, I mean, was that kind of special, at least to see that recognition and, being able to add that to, his list of accolades over the years?
Yeah, anytime you're a captain, no matter what sport it is, or, a leader in a company, in a business, it's an honor. And just being the captain without a C the last couple of years, people leaned on him throughout, the season in the locker room. And it's nice to see the label on the chest for sure, but he carried that even without, his being on his jersey. He carries himself extremely well. He knows that, he's been through it all, he's seen it all. So having that captaincy, I was really excited for him, proud of him. And just to be recognized in that world officially is exciting for him, and I'm pumped up for him.
So how many more times can you leak him out of the backfield before they actually start covering him?
I don't know, we're going to figure it out, though. We'll try as many times as we can, but that was a cool little play, wasn't it?
So who was the ringleader in 19 that decided to get LaFleur his jersey because of how often he mentioned Marcedes? That seems like a Hackett move, but I don't know that for sure.
I think it was a combined effort. I think Darryl Franklin was the one that actually did the purchasing. As far as requesting, Matt was the one that requested, I really want a Marcedes Lewis jersey one of these days. He's definitely one of my favorite players.
Really?
So it just happened to, show up on his desk one day. You know what I mean? So. But how can you not love him? I mean, he's a heck of a football player, heck of a guy, heck of a leader, so everything that you want in a guy. So it's pretty cool to have a jersey like that.
In all seriousness, whether it's the head coach or the coaching staff that thinks that highly of him, or players, his leadership obviously transcends your room. And you've talked before about how much it means in your room. What do you see? What do you think it means team-wide? I mean, does it even cross over to the defense to some degree? Like, is that how well respected he is?
Yeah, like, young guys will test him out not knowing, you know what I mean, in practice when first time in camp when they're going against him, they'll go full force at him and he's got to put them in their place to start out, and then they realize like real quick that you can challenge him, but he's going to end up putting you on his back or your back eventually. As far as our room, it echoes through the hallways for sure. Not only being the size he is, the man he is in the locker room, guys across the ball show respect to him, coming up to him, before and after a game. You'll hear guys on the sideline screaming for him when he's doing really well out there. So you'll hear barking throughout the entire sideline when he gets a ball, and it's not just offensive guys. But he's a guy that people want to emulate. He's been in the league for a long, long time. And anytime you have a career as long as he does, you're trying to figure out what the secret potion is, or what are some tricks of the trade that they can take into their game so they can extend their career. So he's open to sharing that information because he wants the best for his teammates.